everyone, it's Rosette, and I'm back today with another decoding. I'm redoing Batman v Superman. I did it originally on August 18th of 2016, but they took my channel down, which you guys know, and I was looking to find it so I could like re-upload it, but I'd have to change it anyway because YouTube wouldn't let me re-upload all the videos I took down. I have to tweak them anyway. So I went back and looked at my article, and boy, I've actually from August 2016 to November 2019, I've learned a lot. So there's a lot of new things in here, so I think you guys will like it. I feel like I'm getting a way better understanding as I go here, looking at this stuff. So I think I did a good job on this one. I think you guys will like it. So let's get started. Batman v Superman. It really should be written Superman v Batman. Superman should be on the right, while Batman should be on the left. You always determine right and left from the position of the subject looking out. That's really important. Always. That's how you do it. Okay? But they always usurp, invert. So they are doing this here, moving Batman to the alpha position, the beginning, and Superman to the omega or end. Superman is representative of the right hand of God. Right is synonymous with good, which has God in it. Left is the sinister path. It has sin in it. Batman is 15 in numerology. 15 is the devil card in the tarot deck. It is the card of free will. You get to choose if you want to follow the devil. Remember that. The chains around their necks are loose. They are free to take them off. Batman is bad man, Baphomet man. He chooses his path. Notice he looks like Pan. Pan is another name for Lucifer, doing the as above, so below. Notice the light coming from his third eye. He is the light bearer. Batman. A bat sucks blood. He is a vampire. He represents matter and man. Superman represents the human connection, our connection with Source, our divine connection. One is ascending and one is descending. One we follow up the ladder, one we follow down the ladder. Notice they associate Superman with red and Batman with blue. Red is the color of fire and blue the color of water. Fire is connected to the sun, S-U-N, S-O-N, while water is connected to the moon, which is a symbol for Lucifer. Dawn of justice. Justice as opposed to mercy. The two pillars. Boaz as opposed to Jachin. Boaz is an anagram for Ab, Oz. Ab means God, and Oz is short for Osiris. Remember Ordo Ab Kao? That Ab in the middle between Ordo and Kao means God. And Oz is short for Osiris, another name for Lucifer. So Ab, Oz, would be the god Lucifer. And Boaz is the left hand pillar, severity. Boaz, Batman. Dawn of justice. Look what it says in the wiki about dawn. Lucifer. In Greco-Roman civilization, it was often personified and considered a god, and in some versions considered a son of the dawn. And here we have dawn of justice. So that would mean Lucifer is getting justice in this movie. What does that tell us about the people behind this film? I would say that they are Luciferians. And the producer of this film, too, forgot his name, Zack Snyder, I think. He made Dawn of the Dead, too. So you have another Dawn, right? He made Dawn of the Dead, and he made Dawn of Justice. He's a Luciferian, I would say. Now, before I leave this wiki, I wanted to mention one other thing. I was mentioning to a friend that Hillel Slovak was the sacrifice for the red hot chili peppers, and that I read somewhere that Hillel meant Lucifer in Hebrew. Well, we can see that it does, right there in the print. As a name for the devil, the more common meaning in English, Lucifer is the rendering of the Hebrew word, transliteration, Hillel, right? Hillel. Notice in this picture, they have Superman on the right and Batman on the left, and that Superman sees with his right eye, and Batman sees with his left eye, his moon eye. Batman is in black and white, Masonic colors, right? Because Lucifer is the god of the night, right? There's only black at night, black and white. While Superman is in color, like the rainbow, God's covenant. Notice Warner Brothers has a logo with autumn leaves falling. The fallen ones fall in the fall. As does DC Comics. DC is District of Columbia, and Columbia is another name for Isis, or Lilith, which is the female version of Lucifer. The District of Columbia, separate from the US, just like the City of London is separate from the UK, and just like Vatican City is separate from Italy. Temporal, financial, and spiritual power, controlled by the three sovereign states in the same order. Temporal, Washington, D.C., financial, City of London, spiritual, the Vatican. There was a time above, the time before. There were perfect things, diamond, absolutes. Things fall, things on earth, and the falls has fallen, says Batman. Lucifer was perfect. He was God's archangel in heaven, in the above, in the time before. He is represented by the diamond, right? Like Lucy in the sky with diamonds. The jewel, falling from the sky. Things fall. The fallen ones fall. And when do they fall? In the fall, of course. Notice the two diamonds on the back of the coffin. Diamond is 33 in numerology, and we know 33 is a favorite number of the Masons. It is because that was the age of Christ when they had him killed. Bruce Wayne's parents are being taken to the crypt. Krypton. One crypt on the earth, one crypt on the sky. The two diamonds remind me of the two 33s on the Master Mason's lapel. Notice the spots over Bruce's left shoulder. This shows who the hidden hand is manipulating. James 1 verse 27. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. Excalibur, the sword of King Arthur. He who draws the sword is the legitimate heir of the realm, right? That's how the story goes. Notice the N above it in lights. N is 5 in numerology. Bat is 5 as well. So N equals bat. For once, some algebra came in handy here. They are giving energy to Batman to become this heir over Superman. N surrounded by lights that look like diamonds. And in a square. The square represents man or earth, the four corners. There is a G on the street pole representing the Masons. That they're behind it, right? The hidden hand. The sword in the stone. S word versus S tone. The sword is Superman. If we look to John 1 verse 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The phrase the Word is synonymous with Christ. Jesus is symbolized by both King Arthur and Superman. And the S tone is Batman. Notice how so many Masons use Stone for their last name. Oliver Stone, Sean Stone, Larry Silverstein. Steen is stone in German. And Chris Rock is another version of stone. Also Whitney Houston, right? Hugh Stone. Houston, we have a problem. The hewer of stone is a Mason, so that's why they say that phrase. Houston, we have a problem. The Tower of Babel, the Tower of Baal, the Tower of Baal Man, Batman, the Tour de Babel, it says, foreshadowing Superman's defeat. Here they make a point of showing Bruce Wayne falling down, showing us he is a fallen one. He falls down in the leaves in the fall. And then the world turns upside down, an inverse world, just like Crowley taught, to do everything in the opposite to God, in opposition to Him, like a bat hangs upside down. And like the series on Netflix called Stranger Things. And in it, the upside down. The world was the same but inverted. Are we in hell? Or are they making our world hell on earth? Bruce Wayne said, things fall. Things on earth. Stranger Things? To make sure we see the connection, they even have Bruce fall into a pit. He falls into the abyss. Notice his hands. He is doing the Baphomet. The as above, so below, like we also saw on the Devil Tarot card. A robber approaches his family and kills Bruce's parents. The pearls fall. Matthew 7 verse 6. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn again and rend you. That's what they're doing to us today. They're trampling us under their feet and they're rending us. Gotham City and the gutter below. Gotham. Goat Hamlet, where the goats live. Sheeps go to heaven, and goats go to hell. Notice Bruce's right eye is darkened, foreshadowing his path, following the moon eye. In the pit, the bats pick up Bruce. He rises from the pit. In the dream, they took me to the light, a beautiful lie, says Bruce. Rising from the pit, just like Satan rises from the pit. Bruce falls into the pit, an innocent boy. He rises from the pit with the help of the rats with wings innocence lost. The Rat Pack, the seed of the serpent, using Bruce to do their bidding. Bruce is born again, just like Jon Stark in Game of Thrones, born again. Just like Truman in The Truman Show, born again. Just like Neo in The Matrix, born again. Just like the Masons do in their Masonic ritual, born again. Just like the witches do in their ceremonies, born again pagan, all mocking Christ. Metropolis, mankind is introduced to the Superman. Notice the writing is over a white background, or kind of creamy color, right? But a very light background, symbolizing daytime, sun time, as opposed to nighttime, moon time. Metropolis is the city during the day. Gotham is the city during the night. And notice it's the Superman, not a Superman. So we know there is only one, Christ. We meet Superman flying in the sky, saving humanity against an evildoer, General Zod. Notice the phallic symbols of the I and the O. They're G, or generative principle, right? That's the generative act that they're showing there. We see Dr. Pepper on the billboard to the left. Who is Dr. Pepper? That would be Aleister Crowley. Dr. Pepper is 777 code. Each P represents 7 in numerology. The Process Church worships Jehovah, Satan, and above all, Lucifer. Each P or 7 represents one of these 3 gods. Crowley used the 777 code, and he's encoded in Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Pepper, as opposed to salt. Batman would be pepper, black, and Superman would be salt, white. And I wonder if the Red Hot Chili Peppers picked their name in homage to Sgt. Pepper, aka Aleister Crowley. I would say yes, most definitely. Bruce Wayne comes upon the scene. Notice how the building being hit and falling is reminiscent of 9/11. Even down to the cloud of smoke that blows onto the streets. Remember that 9/11 is a number for Earth. The war going on right now is over the Earth, over who will rule the Earth through their new world order, the whole Earth, right? Not just a couple of countries. They want all of them, the whole Earth. 9 is I and 11 is K. I, K, switch it, you have K-I. K-I, or key, is the Sumerian word for earth. And notice the attack is coming from the left. Wayne Financial. Anything that has to do with money is controlled by the seed of the serpent. Notice the sign is pointing down towards the abyss. 18 months later, 18 is code for 666, right? Because 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. So this is a clever way for them to hide it. So they got to get their shout outs to Lucifer wherever they can, right? So they put 1 there. The Kryptonian ship crashed into the Indian Ocean. India is an imperfect anagram for Diana, and Diana is another name for Isis, or Mary even, right? I wonder if that's why they had the ship crash there. Yes, that is why, yes. They do everything, they have a reason behind everything. They would never just randomly pick India. In it, they find the one thing that can harm Superman, kryptonite. Meanwhile, Lois Lane follows a story that leads her to the desert where she gets into some trouble. Lois is an anagram for soil, the earth. She represents the good feminine energy, the loving, caring, nurturing energy, how Yahweh intended women to be. Notice his left hand. He has a tattoo of Mary on there. Mary is good, of course, but is used to symbolize the mother. The seed of the serpent worships the mother instead of the father, Yahweh, so it shows where his allegiance lies. Lois is rescued by Superman. Superman is the protector. Superman is the alpha male, the divine masculine energy, which is being usurped as well. Men are being feminized. Then there is no one left to protect the family. And as the protector, notice he's not the kumbaya, granola-eating, Birkenstock-wearing God that the Judeo-Christians would have us believe. When he comes back with a sword. Superman sees with his right. He is of the right, of the good, of God. Notice the black and white checkers behind him and a diamond. Always a Jew trying to manipulate the story. A diamond even on Superman's chest, showing who is controlling the narrative on Christ in this realm. Right? But Yahweh said that he was going to let Lucifer do that for a time, so. Notice he is wearing red and blue, just like he is in the painting of the Last Supper. Red is Alpha, blue is Omega. Christ is both Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Revelation 22:13, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. But the seed of the serpent would have us believe Christ is only Alpha and their God Lucifer is Omega, that somehow God and Lucifer are on equal footing, and that they have a chance to overthrow him and make this world their own. And own is an anagram for New World Order, right? And for now, New World Order now, and for one, W-O-N, like they get to win, right? And bring in their New World Order. And then one, W-O-N, is phonetically the same as one, O-N-E, right? And they call their God the One. So lots of stuff in that they like. But it ain't gonna happen. Sorry, people. Sorry, Luciferian people. No mercy in the villages. He won't answer to you. He answers to no one, I think even to God. No mercy here, foreshadowing the no mercy at the next hearing, right? Because justice is Batman and mercy is Superman. And why should we be messing with the affairs of other countries to begin with? This is the seed of the serpent, using the United States as their world police force. It is being replaced now by the UN, though, right? UN, or UN, is another name for Lucifer, the the one, the police force of their New World Order. We are introduced to the head of the committee, Senator June Finch. This name was picked on purpose to associate her with the lawyer Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird. Atticus Finch served as a moral hero for many readers and as a model of integrity for lawyers. So she is of upstanding character like Atticus. We will see where that will lead her soon. A warning to other members of Congress not to take the moral ground, perhaps. Clark returns home to Lois. Notice he takes out the red tulip for his love. Red tulip, similar to the red rose. She is holding it in her right hand. She is of the right, like Superman. She has red hair. Red is of the right. Lois Lane has the same last name as the actress playing Superman's mom, Diane Lane. So it shows the connection between Superman's mom and his girlfriend. They are both of the right. I don't know if it's possible for you to love me and be you, says Lois Lane. On the TV, we see a football game playing. Metropolis, again blowing out Gotham City. But not for long. Notice the Masonic black and white checkerboard, always there manipulating, right? The end is nigh, it says on the billboard, with the one-eye symbolism showing the left eye, the moon eye. Ace, as in ace of spades, the death suit. The end is night. A devil, says the girl, referring to Batman. But they also say that Batman saved them. So we see that Batman can be both bad and good. Remember the devil card and free will? He has a choice, right? Batman, like on a cross, foreshadowing another being he will put on a cross. Then he says, Jesus Christ, he branded him. So we subconsciously make that Christ association with the cross. So he bears the mark of Batman or Baphomet, or Cain, right? The mark of Cain. Revelation 13, verse 17. So that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast, or the number of its name. Baphomet man. Notice Anatoly has the MM code, Moscow Machba, for 33. He works for Lex Luthor, LL, another code, 33. Notice that Bruce Wayne is from money, Moon Eye. He owns Wayne Industries, and Wayne Financial apparently. A billionaire with opulent wealth. His family made their fortune through railroad, real estate, and oil, similar to the Rockefellers. He is of matter, but is he of the seed of the serpent, or is he just being used by the deceiver? Superman, on the other hand, is raised on a farm. He is a farmer, just like the Boers. They are naturally good farmers. It is the tribe of Cain that Yahweh banished from the land, and hence they have to parasite off of the seed of the woman to live. Batman shares his displeasure with Alfred. We were always criminals. Nothing's changed. Alfred retorts, No, sir, everything's changed. A man falls from the sky and God's wield thunderbolts. Innocence dies. That's how it starts. The feeling, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness. It turns good men cruel. Is Alfred foreshadowing Bruce's actions? Yes. Mark of the bat. Mark of the beast. Notice Lex Luthor's shirt with the monkey on it. Monkey or moon key. He follows the moon eye. Remember, we said that the moon is a symbol of Lucifer. Also, who pushes the idea that we all evolved from apes? Evolution, who pushes that? The Jews. It reminds me of the beginning of the movie Lucy, where she shares the name with the first female ape human. Yeah, right. Yeah, bullshit. Notice Scarlet Jo is also a member of the seed of the serpent. Yeah, she's a Jewess. She is from the tribe of Cain. Lucy, of course, is the feminine name for Lucifer. LexCorp on the floor. And notice it is written upside down and backwards on the court, or inverted. Crowley's law of reversal. Notice his hand in the Masonic M position. The moon key is pushing a detonator, foreshadowing the event at the Capitol. So the junior senator from Kentucky, June Finch, pays a visit to Lex Luthor. Luthor tries to sell to Finch that the kryptonite is a good thing, that it will help to secure planetary protection. But Finch doesn't believe his hype and knows he actually wants it as an assassination tool to use against Superman. Then lying at the bottom of the Indian Ocean, Emerald City, says Lex. He finishes, Rocky is radioactive. Emerald City refers to the Wizard of Oz, him being the wizard, the witch, behind the curtain. And Wizard of Oz was a type of programming done in the MK Ultra project. Rocky is radioactive is in reference to stone, as in the sword versus the stone that we talked about earlier. The stone is against the sword, and so it is radioactive. Radioactive. Radio as in S-tone, what we hear. And one more hidden meaning in what he said. So again, he said, lying at the bottom of the ocean, Emerald City. Well, Emerald City is Mount Meru at the North Pole. A mountain there, not sunk. But they sure want us to believe that. Just look on their ball Earth map on Google Earth. Right? Google is Google, which is another name for Lucifer. So sorry, I'm not the one that gives him 1,000 names, right? Because I say this means Lucifer, that means Lucifer, this means Lucifer. But it's true, he has like 1,000 names, so we just got to figure them all out, right? So here we have one of Bruce's employees that lost his legs during the event where the building fell like 9/11. And here we have a memorial wall similar to 9/11. But notice how they try to blame this event on Superman, on God, when in actuality we know how the Israelis love to dance. So he climbs that statue of Superman and spray paints false God across his chest. Many Jews have tricked our people into believing this. So many now think the Bible is just a Jewish book used to manipulate us, right? And they become pagans because of it. They don't understand that it is our book that they have usurped, just as they do with all our good symbols. They mirror the good and use it for bad. We know in truth their God is the false God. Their God is the deceiver. Yahweh is the one true God. He also mentions the metahuman movement, which is just code for transhumanist movement, and says, don't have to force kindness from monsters. Notice that monster is another word for goyim, or Gentile. That's what they call us, right? Even though it's not accurate, but that's what they call us. And force of will is a theme we will see repeated in a moment. Notice Lex is doing another M hand sign in case you missed the previous one. Here we have our shady politician making backdoor deals with the enemy of the people. Notice the same colors and pattern in the senator's shirt and tie as the LexCorp logo behind him, subliminally showing they're on the same team, right? So he would be a Shabbos Goy, so he would be worse than Seed of the Serpent, right? Because he's a complete traitor, right? Total scumbag. Lex puts a sweet in his mouth. The senator doesn't want to take it, but he does. This mouth symbolism is code for sodomy. He'll take it to get ahead. Check out Luthor's shirt here. It's spotted. We will see him in many shirts throughout, letting us know he is a spotted one. 2 Peter chapter 2, where he discusses the angels that sinned, Sodom and Gomorrah, and says, but these, as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. Spots they are and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings, while they feast with you, having eyes full of adultery, and that cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls, and heart they have exercised with covetous practices, cursed children, which have forsaken the right way, and are gone astray, following the way of Balaam, the son of Bozor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness. These are wells without water, clouds that are carried with a tempest, to whom the mist of darkness is reserved forever. Finch has a second meeting with Lex, where he points out, that should be upside down. But we know better, don't we? Devils don't come from hell beneath us, they come from the sky. Well, that would be Lex's point of view, right? A complete inversion. They come from below. Stranger things, right? Bruce Wayne gets invited to a party at Lex Luthor's mansion. Notice the Parthenon in the background, the temple associated with the goddess Athena in Greek, which is the Roman equivalent of Diana, Isis. Diana is associated with the moon. India, Diana, moon. Luthor makes a speech saying, "War between God and man. Prometheus went with us and he ruined Zeus's plan to destroy mankind. And with that he was given a thunderbolt. That seems unfair." So Luthor is espousing Gnosticism here, that God is evil and Satan is good, right? So everything you just said there was bullshit. Notice Luthor is similar to Lucifer. Luthor, Lucifer, right? So Lex is Lucifer. And Lex is Lux, which means light, the light bearer. So Lex Luthor is Lux Lucifer. Having knowledge and no power, that is paradoxical. Because they have the hidden knowledge, but they want the supreme power to go with it. Notice Lex is doing the hidden hand. But we have the hidden knowledge too, right? We're figuring it out ourselves. So we'll take the power back. Gal Gadot is the name of the actor playing Wonder Woman here. Another spotted one, right? She's a Gadot, dot, spot. Wonder Woman has the WW alliteration. Turn each W one click to the left and you get your 33. And I wonder if this is a woman. It's not. Also, Gal is a Jew, just like Jesse Eisenberg, both from the seed of the serpent tribe. We have a bad history of freaks dressed like clowns, retorts Bruce Wayne. So this is a tarot card reference. Jesus would be the fool, or the clown, but is usurped by Lucifer. Christ would be both 0 and 22, the beginning and the end in the tarot. That would be Christ. But Lucifer usurps. "I've seen it, Mr. Wayne. He thinks he's above the law," says Clark Kent. "Like in the Kingsmen, where the secret group sees themselves above the law. They take the law into their own hands. So a form of moral relativism, which is the philosophy being carried in both movies. It is the philosophy of the Satanists. Look to Michael Aquino." That's how he likes his name said. A Queen O, right? Alpha and Omega with the queen in the middle. Because he worships the mother, not the father, right? So check out his book called Mind Wars for more on this. Keep in mind the author is a Satanist himself. Note that Lucifer is synonymous with Satan. So whenever I say Lucifer or I say Satan, it's one and the same, okay? So the news comes on and a girl is trapped in a burning building. Clark changes into Superman and rescues her. A commentator says, 90% of people believe in a higher power on this planet, have been looking for a savior, and every religion believes in some sort of Messiah figure. And that's exactly what the Luciferians want to destroy. People having hope, people having faith, believing in God. They try to make him an ordinary guy. The commentator continues, maybe he's not a devil or Jesus character, but just a guy trying to do the right thing. Notice while they are saying this, they show footage of Superman saving astronauts when the rocket blew up upon launching. So this is more outer space programming. They reference this programming by using their Masonic spokesperson, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He uses his middle name because deGrasse is 33 in numerology. Here he gives his opinion on Superman. He says, a being whose existence challenges our own sense of priority in the universe. You go back to Copernicus, where he restored the sun in the center of the known universe, displacing Earth, and you get to Darwin evolution and realize we're not special, just one among other life forms. And now we find out we're not special in the entire universe, because there is Superman. He is an alien among us. So everything he said there was total lies. Alien, a lie in that, what he said. The earth is in the center of our universe, just as the heart, earth, is in the center of our chests. We are not evolved from monkeys. We are special. We are sparks off of the divine spark, off of the Creator. Superman is the Son, S-O-N-S-U-N, of God. He is human, the divine earth connection. Notice Tyson is sitting on the left, on the side of the left-hand path. Notice he has an orange tie on, right, for 33. And notice how the image in the background looks like a spine, a metacortex. That will come up later. When you're in danger and fear for your life, who do you turn to? To God, right? So if you weren't sure before if Superman is portraying Christ, because I hear people on YouTube saying Superman is Lucifer, this image should drive the point home. He is Christ, and the Antichrist is trying to destroy him. It's that simple. Batman has a dream where the Nazis are attacking him. Notice the Nazis are wearing Superman's logo on their shoulders, associating Superman, Christ, with the Nazis. This is true. The Germans are from the tribe of Judah, Pharez, the same tribe that Christ was born from. The Nazis are good, just like Christ. And they add these winged demon things like somehow they're with the Nazis, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The seed of the serpent is the ones into demon spirits, right? Like the Goetia demons and all that crap. So, they just throw some shit in here too, just to kind of muddy the waters, right? They see you as a threat. I never wanted this world to have you. Be their hero, be their monument, be their angel, be everything they need, or be none of it. You don't owe this world a thing. You never did, cries Martha Kent. Notice Martha Kent, Martha Wayne, Aunt May for Spider-Man, the Ma. They all have Ma in their names, M-A at the beginning, right? Like Mary, M-A, Ma, the divine feminine, the divine mother. Batman tries to steal the kryptonite from the dock where it was getting unloaded off of the white Portuguese. Superman shows up and Batman attacks him. But Superman wins and rips Batman out of his car. Next time they shine a light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy, says Superman. Mercy as opposed to justice. Mercy, the right-hand Masonic pillar. Dawn of justice is against Superman's mercy, his kindness. Tell me, do you bleed? You will, says Batman. This is foreshadowing of Batman's force of will, right? Which is a Crowley philosophy. So in the next scene, we have Luthor saying, Mercy, you go in and make sure no one takes my seat. So you can see that Luthor is part of Team Dawn of Justice, right? He's against Mercy. Remember, Justice is Batman, Mercy is Superman. And justice, what does it mean? It means fairness and protection of rights and punishment of wrongs. While all legal systems aim to uphold this ideal through fair and proper administration of the law of the land, it is possible to have unjust laws. Mercy, on the other hand, is compassionate or kindly forbearance shown toward an offender, an enemy, or other person in one's power. Compassion, pity, or benevolence. So justice is of the mind, but mercy is of the heart. So the Jews blow up kindness with the rest of the Americans. Were there any Jews in the courtroom? I'm sure they were told beforehand, right? Like supposedly what happened with 9/11. Notice how Lex manipulated the legless man as well. He is a master manipulator. Notice the spots on his shirt. The spotted one. The mind control of the masses is working, kind of like now, isn't it? Turning people into Satanists without them even knowing. They get everything but the label, the actual awareness. The numbnuts protesting remind me of Antifa. Brainwashed idiots who don't realize they're doing the bidding of their enemies and are helping to build the walls around their own prison. They don't realize that fascism is tribalism and wanting the best for your extended family, known as your tribe, and that wanting the best for your tribe doesn't mean you want to harm other tribes. It is in fact a system that works in harmony with other tribes, making the best world for its people, putting its people first as a whole. Communism is all about the top central control who reap all the benefits while the people are just cogs in their machinery, making the system run. The communists don't give a squat about the actual workers. Just look to history for the proof on this. You can read Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn if you want a first-hand account of what life is like under a communist regime. And I recommend that to all you Antifa people. So hopefully you can wake up and see how silly you are. How you're being used, manipulated by the Jews to put you in your building your own prison, right? Stupid. So this crowd in Batman v Superman is just like Antifa, wanting to do away with Christ, their protector, and prefer to let chaos rule them. So God is put on trial here. Is that what we are seeing today? Are people's faith in God questionable? Is it our place to decide what God does and doesn't do? That sounds more like the philosophy of the Jew. He plans on ruling the world, taking over the world from God. He plans on putting a Lucifer on the throne, but the elders will tell Lucifer what to do. Senator Finch realizes too late that Lex was playing them. Granny's peach tea. She mentioned turning it to piss, so he did, pissing on her. So Lucifer, Luthor, blows the place to smithereens. And they have Superman not seeing it, like he made a mistake, like he is fallible. See what propaganda they're trying to program us with? God doesn't make mistakes. Fire. Who will burn in the eternal flames? The tares will, right? Not the wheat. This shot was interesting. Luthor going to the Krypton ship, being led by this drone. Reminded me of Blade Runner 2049, where the bad guy is also led by a drone. So Luthor activates the technology to make a soulless being, kind of like what we just saw in Blade Runner 2049. That was a soulless being as well. A soulless being would be a golem, one of the highest aspirations of an alchemist. Alchemy is the craft of the left-hand pathers. You flew too close to the sun, says Lex Luthor about General Zod, or General Zed. Z, the last letter in the alphabet. The omega from the alpha, right? So omega, moon, Lucifer, Batman, right? All the same. So this "you flew too close to the sun" is obviously a reference to Icarus, whose father was a master craftsman or master mason, right? So he built the wings for Icarus, and he who flew too close to the sun because of overconfidence. It is also a variation on the tale of Lucifer, the fallen one. He also fell, right? So Batman makes a plan to take out Superman. Through Crowley's force of will, he thinks he can defeat God. He works out. He manufactures kryptonite bullets. Through his mind and body, he believes that somehow he can overcome God. Notice his chair. See in the back? He is becoming enlightened. The chair represents the 33 vertebrae in the human spine, with enlightenment at the 34th. Remember the spine behind deGrasse Tyson? They show this also in The Matrix, with the building called the metacortex. Bruce clicks on metahuman, metacortex. See how the files look like little spines there? He opens this photo, showing Wonder Woman from 1918. So you get your 18 again, right? Your 666. Like she's some kind of enlightened spiritual being. Well, the person playing her is a tranny, a Baphomet, and to them, that is the most spiritual you can get, becoming a he-she. They want us to give our energy to this creature. No, thank you. While Batman is checking out the creature, Superman has flown to the North Pole, to Mount Meru, in the center of our world, where his father is, right? That's where Yahweh is, right above at the North Star. Remember Lex earlier saying, lying at the bottom of the ocean, Emerald City, Rocky is radioactive. Well, it's not lying on the bottom, is it? It's above, it's a mountain. And it is magnetized, hence all compasses point to it. He goes there to get some guidance. He goes to a place of peace, away from the chaos of our world. It's something, isn't it, coming from Kansas, living on a pancake? So we come to a mountain, all downhill from here, down to the floodplain, down to the bottom of the world, says Father Kent. Sounds like a flat earth to me. The spirit of his father convinces Clark that because of love, the heart, he needs to go back and fight. And before Bruce leaves to implement his plan, he visits his family crypt, right? So Superman visits his father's grave, and now Batman's doing the same thing. This is about the future of the world. It's my legacy, says Batman. So falls the house of Wayne, says Alfred, right? So falls, like he's Lucifer falling from heaven. Notice the Wayne family crest, though. He has the red hand of Ulster in it. This is the red hand of Zara. So the Wayne family are of the seed of the woman, not the seed of the serpent. So from this clue, we can see that Bruce is just being used and manipulated by the tribe of Cain, making him into a Baphomet man, a bad man, a Batman. If his parents were killed, would he ever have become the Bat? No. Probably not, right? Meanwhile, Superman's mom, Martha, is leaving the local diner where she works and is taken prisoner by Luthor's man, who has the Mary tattoo on his left hand. Martha would be the Mary. She is the mother of Superman. How ironic that this man who worships the mother is planning on harming the mother. Luthor captures Lois as bait to bring Superman to him. He pushes Lois from the helipad, but of course Superman rescues her just in time. He leaves her safe on the ground and flies up to Lex. Boy, do we have problems up here. The problem of evil in the world. The problem of absolute virtue. The problem of you above all. Because that's what God is. Horus, Apollo, Kal-El, Clark Joseph Kent. See, what we call God depends upon our tribe, Clark Joe. God is tribal. God takes sides. If God is all-powerful, then he cannot be all good. And if he is all good, then he cannot be all-powerful, says Lex Luthor. So what tribe is Luthor from? It should be obvious that he is of the tribe of Cain, which is of the seed of the serpent. They are the manipulators, manipulating Batman into killing God, killing Christ, just like they did with the Romans, with Pontius Pilate, killing Christ. Their Talmud says it isn't murder if someone dies indirectly from their hands, so they manipulate others to do the dirty work for them. Brother-on-brother wars, like World Wars I and II, and now, by getting so many Christians to believe they, the Jews, are the chosen race. So they do the bidding for the Jew and cause their own destruction. The greatest fight night in the history of the world. God versus man, day versus night, son of Krypton versus bat of Gotham, he says. Notice Lex doing the 666 hand sign with the thumb and index finger, together representing the Omega. He shows you what team he's on. Lex tells Superman his love is in danger. Superman smirks and tells Lex his love is safe. He has just rescued her. But Lex retorts, "The first love of any child is their mother," and adds, "The mother of a flying demon must be a witch. Punishment for witches, death by fire. Now God bends to my will." Some more inversion here, right? Luthor mentioned earlier Icarus, whose father was a master craftsman or a witch, and death by fire is not the fate of the wheat, but of the tares of the tribe of Cain. So we are supposed to believe that Luthor, Lucifer, fooled Christ. Yeah, right. This is definitely a fantasy version going on in this movie. Can we see how satanic it is? And who are the true witches performing Crowley magic? Also notice Luthor mentioning his force of will. And why do these Polaroids remind me exactly of what the seed of the serpent does with snuff films and child bondage? Take Polaroids and trade them with other pedos and perverts. This is like some kind of inside joke doing this. And now God bends to my will, says Lex. No one stays good in this world, Superman tells Lois. He must save his mother. He's being manipulated to do harm. He goes to fight the bat. He tries to reason with him and explain what Luthor is making him do, but Batman won't listen. So first he tries through mind, right? Breathe it in. You are not brave. Men are brave, says Batman. And he hits him again, making him incapable of fighting back. They told me the world only makes sense if you force it to, says Batman, forcing his will upon it. Do as thou will is the whole of the law, as Crowley would say. Notice Batman is seeing with his left eye, the eye of Crowley. And Superman is laying with his arms and legs like he is upon a cross. Remember Batman doing that when he saved the girls in the dungeon? The foreshadowing, and now he's doing it to Superman? Batman slashes Superman across the left cheek. Save Martha! This is symbolic of the Nazis and their ceremony of allegiance. Joseph Mengele, Otto Skorzeny, and Alfred Bonner share this mark. This is a good mark. It shows their bravery and unity. So this is another symbol showing the Nazis, the Germans, are connected to Christ. So this would be the mark of God, right, as opposed to the mark of Cain. What is he saying? Who is Martha? Demands Batman. Lois tells him, it's his mother. This is the key to break Batman out of his programming. He won't let another Martha die. Not to mention he worships the mother, right? Not the father. So we see Superman try to reach him through mind, and that didn't work, but finally was able to through heart. He saves Martha. If man won't kill God, the devil will do it, cries Luthor. He tells us the whole truth right there. Batman represents man. He is not of the tribe of Cain, of the seed of the serpent. We found out he's actually from the tribe of Zerah. So this is part of the brother-on-brother wars, the Jew manipulating us into destroying ourselves. But if that doesn't work, the seed of the serpent does have a backup plan, and he will use it. We are told in the Oded Yinin plan that they have bombs located in every big city across the world, and they will blow them up if Israel gets destroyed. And look how the shape of the map kind of looks like a bell, right? If you just finish the red line, on the other side you'd have a ball. So this doomsday is a real doomsday they have planned for us. They are scared of God because they know that it is prophesied that they will be thrown into the eternal flames. So they try to do that to us first. Despicable criminals always have a plan B. Blood of my blood, your doomsday, Lex says. Now God is good as dead. Doomsday, Moonsday. Notice here, Doomsday smashing the black monolith on Superman. Remember the black monolith? Monolith is Moon Lilith, so connected to Lucifer, and is shown in 2001 A Space Odyssey. And here in The Giver as well. The black monolith represents their control, the black cube of Saturn, of Satan controlling us. Superman takes Doomsday out into space to try and destroy him. Well, we know there is no space, so this is more ball Earth programming. The U.S. military sends up a nuclear missile to destroy him, knowing it could kill Superman at the same time. But instead of destroying him, it ends up making Doomsday even stronger. While it does bring Superman very close to death, it can't kill him. Only Kryptonite can, right? He gathers his strength and goes on the attack again. So this is Lucifer's golem, the Alchemist's wet dream. Batman and Wonder Woman come to Superman's aid, like God really needs help, right? Like William Fink said before, Yahweh only needs one. Haha, Love it, because that's the truth, right? God only needs God. That's it. He doesn't need any of us. With all the destruction going on around them, Doomsday blows up the building Lois was trying to get the spear out of. That pool that can be used to kill Doomsday. Superman hears Lois is in distress and rescues her. Although Christ was a martyr when he came down and died on the cross for our sins, in his second coming he has no such plans. But the seed of the serpent is hoping that somehow they can kill Christ for a second time. And so they have Superman become a martyr again, right? So this is one big ritual, this whole movie. He will sacrifice himself for humanity like Jesus on the cross. He gets speared in the heart. Max spears. This is a battle for our hearts. Remember, heart is an anagram for earth. For the seed of the serpent to take over the earth with their new world order, they have to destroy the heart. Why? Because the law is written in our hearts. We cannot be separate from it. We carry Yahweh's morals. For them to make earth an immoral place, a wholly inverted place, like in Lex Luthor's painting, they have to wipe out the seed of the woman, and that is exactly what they're trying to do today. He lies in the hangman position of the tarot cards. This is a card of ultimate surrender, of being suspended in time, and of martyrdom and sacrifice to the greater good. Notice that the hanged man is illuminated. He is wearing a blue shirt and red leggings, where Superman wears a blue shirt and red cape. He is hanging upside down from the tree of life, Mount Meru, rooted in the underworld and supporting the heavens. Right? Upside down. Stranger Things again. So Superman succeeds in killing Doomsday, but in doing so, kills himself. Notice the burning cross to symbolize that this is Christ. We then see Luthor in jail, where he should be. Notice he is flanked by 2 police, and he is in orange. Both police and orange are 33 in numerology. So we see the Masons are devising a plan to get Luthor out and finish what they started. So the news is broken to the world. Superman is dead. And at the same time, Clark Kent dies. But somehow no one puts this together. Back at the farm, back at Clark's home, back at Martha's house, Lois lies in Clark's bedroom and looks up. Jupiter is in the center, connecting her to Jupiter as well. Remember, 24 is the symbol for Jupiter, which is the planet of the sign of Sagittarius, which means archer in Latin. And the archer is the ruler of the arch. We are in the arch, earth. Yahweh Christ is the ruler of the arch. And this Jupiter symbolism comes up in a lot of movies, right? So it comes up with Katniss in the Hunger Games. And it comes up with Trinity in the Matrix, right? She would be Jupiter. It shows her with the moons of Jupiter. And it also comes up in the Truman Show, right? With his girlfriend. She had a necklace on that had the moons of Jupiter. In the funeral procession for Clark Kent, on Scottish bagpipes, they play Amazing Grace. Now, why would they play Scottish bagpipes unless they know who Clark really is? That he is of the tribe of Judah. Zerah being the twin brother of Perez, whose descendants are the Scots. That Superman is Christ. Lois Lane and Diane Lane reminds me of 2 Marys. Mary, mother of Jesus, and Mary Magdalene, his faithful servant, both completely devoted to Christ. Notice they're in a field of wheat too, right? See the wheat around them? At the same time Clark's funeral is going on, they have a funeral for Superman in Washington, D.C. So in an empty coffin, right? He's not here, but the people don't know that. And a candlelight vigil. I failed him in life, I won't fail him in death, says Batman. On Judgment Day, will he receive eternal reward or eternal shame? Batman, what will he receive? Well, he's all of matter so far, right? And he tried to kill Christ, so I mean, right now I'd say he has most of his eggs in the shame basket. So he has a lot of work to do to switch it to the reward basket, I would say. So Lucifer, is locked away, but he will never stop. It is in his nature. It is in his blood. And so his painting is turned around. It's now Yahweh's time to rise, to have order over chaos. But this time it is forever. Lois places soil on Clark's casket. The heart-earth connection. Lois, heart, soil, earth. He will rise again. With his second coming, he will make everything right once more. In dedication to my dear friend Max Spears, who passed away July 16th, 2016. May he rest in peace, never forgotten, forever and always. Loads of love, Rosette. Miss you, Max.